the sewing machine, a girl's best friend. If I didn't have my sewing machine, I'd have come to no good end. But a bub and a pedal and wheel the wheel by day. So by night I feel so weary that I never get up to play.
You know, it's easier to find something you like in a shop that fits you really well, and then find the fabrics that you like and then make copies of it so that you can wear them all the time. And I mean, this dress in particular, like, I had the pattern made, and so now I've got that pattern and I can work off it and I know it's going to fit me well. And yeah, so it's sort of nice to come in here and see all the pretty fabrics. And
have you ever used downloadable patterns?
I haven't yet. I think because I don't understand the process of how they print off, because patterns to me are like big, you know, sheets of whatever the garment is, either in cardboard or in paper. So the idea of printing it off, I just like have this mental image of lots of little A4 squares. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they work.
So you need two wheels.
Sewing was big back when my mother was younger. She used to go to the local market, buy a remnant of fabric, sew it up to wear to a dance that afternoon because they couldn't afford the clothes in the shops. And then people got too busy and sewing was considered something a bit daggy, you know, that their grandparents or their mother did. I mean, why do you think sewing's had a resurgence?
Well, for me personally, I became busy when I had a job and children, so it goes by the wayside. But for me, it's just really soothing, very therapeutic, and I can make something that is just right for me. You can't always find anything that suits
that you
in
want.
The shops, yeah. And there's some fantastic patterns at the moment. Yeah. So it's very exciting, I think.
I just have quite a unique style, and it's a good break from my studies. So whenever I'm stressed, I just would like to be able to make some things that I see in shops that are unique but quite expensive.
I can't find things to fit me because I'm quite petite, and a lot of clothes aren't actually made to suit petite people. Particularly straps, I find everything's just too long for me. So
I came to this class because I want to do my own alterations. I have to do a lot of alterations because I'm quite short. Eventually I would like to make my own clothes as well. And my inspiration is my grandmother, because I grew up with her altering all our clothes and making clothes for us, like pyjamas or Leo jackets. And she did that using her old sewing machine, the really old manual ones. And we still have that until today. It's probably about 100 years old.
Is it a treadle machine?
Yes.
Well, I've seen it on Tessuti's website that you have downloadable patterns, but I haven't used those yet.
Do you know how they work?
No.
You know, instead of going to the shop and buying a pattern, a commercial pattern that might be out of stock or not in print anymore, the file stays up there and you download it instantly for less, because, you know, they're not having to post you anything that's not being printed. You will print it out on your computer, on an A4 printer at home, and then stick the tiles together and you've got the pattern layout with the instructions sent to you as well, which you don't have to print. You could just look at it on your iPad or your computer. And then we also give you the large file to print it at a copy shop if you don't want to stick pages together.
I assumed it would just be to scale and you would have to increase it, so that's why I've been terrified to even look at it.
No, you just have to make sure your printer's set on 100% full scale, so don't shrink to fit it to the page. You print it at 100% scale. There's a little test square for you to measure 10 by 10. And if that measures correctly, then it's all to scale. And you just cut it out, it's got everything included. All sizes, like say from a size 6 right to a 16. I think when you sew, you know, because you spent time devoted to making a really beautiful garment, you're less likely to want to toss it away. You look at it and you wear it with pride. And I think to spend time honing your skill, you know, learning a skill, finding out new ways, better ways to create something, and sharing that information, you know, getting together with some other friends who sew, or sharing that information online. If you have a sewing blog, and you can give sewers some insight on, you know, a pattern that maybe didn't fit so well, and this is what I did to it to make it better, and little things to look out for. Number one in the first row. I personally took up sewing later because my mum sewed all my life. She used to make all my clothes.
And I'm her mother.
Yeah. And, you know, I used to go to bed at night to the lull of, you know, hearing the machine, and in the morning I had a new dress to wear. She's made for my brother as well. And she saved money by doing that, and we were beautifully dressed and we had different outfits. I never wanted to pick it up because she did it so well, and then when I was a bit older and I went to college and fashion school, because I loved designing it and I loved choosing the fabrics for it, but I didn't want to make it.
Making some cushions. Yes. So I've got this, I want this to be the front, I want the back to be the colour.
Now that you've got the layout all joined together, you can either cut out the size you want to make, but I would suggest that you trace off the size you want, so that if you want to make a friend another one, or if you put on a little bit of weight, you can make the bigger size. So I'd leave the master copy as is, don't cut anything off, but you can of course cut it off. Now, the way the world is going, everything's so mass produced. There's the same clothing you see in one label produced similarly in another label out of the same factory. It's boring, you know, we're all starting to look the same, and it's cheap. There's no appreciation now of what actually goes into a garment. You know, people think nothing of spending $20 for a garment and not thinking, how is this possible that someone has spent all this time making this garment and I've paid only $20 for it.
Oh, the sewing machine, a friend in need. If I didn't have my sewing machine, a wicked life I'd lead.
We hear it all the time, sewers that come and say, my mum was a sewer, my grandmother was a sewer.
And I would not.
And I wouldn't listen.
And now I wish I had. After your children were born, you started sewing.
Yeah. I mean, at school I did it because I had to do it, but it wasn't until I had my girls that I wanted to make things for them. And then I discovered I loved it. I had the patience for it. And then I suddenly went, oh my God, all those years that Mum was trying to show me, this is how you do it. And I'd be like, no, you do it.
She never wanted to do it.
No.
But I've always loved it, yeah. I've always, but I cannot believe that my passion is as strong as ever, yeah.
If not more so. So I've never told you, Mum, have I? But I'm so glad that you gave me a skill. Something that I love.
About time you told me.
The sewing machine, the sewing machine, the sewing machine, the sewing machine is a girl.